Welcome to the Paris Institute for Advanced Studies, which I am the director, Saadi Lahlou. This place is a fabulous heaven for science, a place second to none. Welcome in this magnificent building, a testimony of the importance that the city of Paris and its mayor give to science. May I take this opportunity to thank the city of Paris, its mayor, Anne Hidalgo, and also the deputy mayor, Professor Marie-Christine Le Mardelet, who will very soon be with us. And we also have a second deputy mayor, Pierre, Rabadan, who is in charge of the river. In these difficult times for science, I think we should be grateful and honor those people who enable science to continue in places like this. The Paris Institute for Advanced Study, funded by the city and the major research institution of the Paris area, is the interface between the huge community of Paris researchers in social science and humanities and the very best scientists of the world whom we invite and host so that they can work together and create networks with the local ecosystem. The Paris Institute is also a hub for intersectoral work, the collaboration between science and experts and decision makers in policy, industry, and civil society. We are especially interested in research on major societal issues in collaboration with the Paris Research Initiative. And therefore, we are especially delighted to organize this conference on reconnecting river and the city, the Seine in Paris and the Île-de-France, on the major issue of water. Of course, this is the perfect place to hold such a conference in the heart of Paris, on an island surrounded by the very river Seine itself, which you may hear if you listen carefully. This conference, or rather this series of conferences, is organized by Professor Carola Hein. Carola Hein is professor and chair of History of Architecture and Urban Planning at Delft University of Technology. She's also professor at Leiden and Erasmus universities. She holds the UNESCO Chair Water, Ports and Historic Cities, and she's a director of the Leiden Delft Erasmus Port City Futures Center. She has published widely in the field of architectural, urban, and planning history and has held historical analysis to contemporary development. Among other major grants, she received a Guggenheim Fellowship, an Alexander von Humboldt Fellowship, a Volkswagen Foundation grant for mixed method digital humanities projects. Her many honors include the Sarton Medal in 2020, awarded to an outstanding scholar in the history of science. She serves as president of the International Planning History Society. And last but not least, Carola holds the Major Changes Sorbonne University and Paris Institute for Advanced Studies chair about water and heritage. And I'm happy that we have today the vice president for research of this great university. And she is also the 24-25 research fellow at the Paris Institute for Advanced Study, and this is why she is here for you. I am famous for my short speeches, and without further ado, I will leave the floor to my dear and more specialized and important colleagues. And first of all, Pierre Rabadan, Deputy Mayor of Paris in charge of sport, the Paris 2024 OPG, and the Seine. Pierre.
Hello, everyone. Really happy to have you here. Just want to say a quick word to make you a warm welcome for this sequence. Will be very important for the city of Paris. You already explained it a bit, but we had and we still have a massive target to being able to go to the objectives that you have this morning, that reconnecting people with this river and inhabitants of Paris. So it was something we spoke about 8 years ago, and if you just cross a Parisian in the street and you say that 10 years ago that he will be able to go swimming, 10 years after he will say that you will probably be a crazy person. But that's a reality today, and as you maybe heard about it, last year we organized a small event in Paris calling Olympics and Paralympic Games, and we use that for being able to reconnecting the city with and the inhabitants with this river. the first step was the capacity to change the freeway we had all around the River Seine and making a city of living and life. And that's the determination who had Anne Hidalgo, the mayor of Paris. And I can confess it was really hard to maintain this change because she had many oppositions and opponents still working on, but changing just a freeway and make this space a new space for living was a first battle. The second one was to being able to connect all the the stakeholders and the state, region, and all those stakeholders to being able to invest and improve the quality of water, to being able to go swimming for the Olympics, for the official competition, but and mainly for the legacy and for people. And you are here just downstairs on a specific place. We will welcome a swimming area for the next summer in the Bras-Marie just over there. So I used to go swimming already 3 times, and I'm in perfect shape, as you see. Always good health. So it's a joke because when I talk about that, everyone is asking me if I'm okay. And I say, yes, I am, definitely. And better than before I was going to swim. So that was another important thing. But I'm joking, but I know, and you told about that, the time we are living are really difficult. And I'm quite more serious on that point. We have battle to lead. Political battle, science battle, and we know that actually it will be maybe harder than it was. And the way that changing the uses of the river, reconnecting people with their everyday life, with the water, and make them being aware of the importance of the quality of water they use and how they take care of the environment. It could be probably the key in the moment we are living. So I'm really determined to lead that with the mayor of Paris, and thanks for being here today. It's a really positive atmosphere to have you and knowing that scientists and intelligent people are working on that way to make them understand that sustainability is the key, and reconnection with the water in the big cities are determined for the future. So it's the case here in Paris, but I can tell you that after games, we have a lot of connection with other cities all around the world who wants to change and reconnecting their society with and the inhabitants with the river where the city was built around. So thanks for being there, and have a good works today, and thanks for helping us to push the way and defend the right of the water and being able to reconnecting people with that. So enjoy your day here in Paris.
Welcome to all of you. I'm really pleased to be here. I'm delighted to be here, actually. It's always a treat to be in this wonderful building, so thank you for having us. And I'm delighted to be here, particularly to celebrate this magnificent conference that Carola has organized. I'd like to thank you, to congratulate you for the energy, for the momentum that you gathered around this chair about water and heritage. Thank you, dear Saadi, as well, for welcoming us today to this magnificent Hôtel de Lausanne, located right in the matrix of Paris, in the heart of the city, the Ile Saint-Louis, which is reminiscent of the fabulous, fabulous splendors of Louis XIV monarchy. And it's so calm and so close to the Ile de la Cité, the historical core of Paris. The first inhabitants, as you probably know, the Parisi, who were Celtic fishermen, gave their names to the city and to the Parisians, of course. So at the other end of the timeline, 2024, we could attend this wonderful swimming session, and you were there, I understand, and probably right from the balcony of the IEA, of the Institute. So fantastic. From the balcony of the Institute, we could witness the swimming session in the River Seine of the Mayor of Paris, Anne Hidalgo, and apparently of quite a crowd around Anne Hidalgo, which was great, and they're still alive. This is fantastic. The Seine is the perfect example of natural heritage that has become cultural heritage. Both tangible and intangible, celebrated in hundreds of novels, songs, paintings, poems. Paris is the main character in all the novels that we've been reading when we were kids, and French kids in Paris in particular. Hugo Apollinaire Prévert, La Seine a de la chance, elle n'a pas de soucis, for instance. What one sees along the Seine in Paris is an architectural parade. Paris and its two banks, from Pont de Sully to Pont de Iéna, as well as the islands, have been listed for more than 30 years now as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. So an architectural parade, a choreographed monumentality, inviting one to follow the major stages of French history and to acknowledge the political role of Paris as capital. A place of history, a heritage treasure, but also what is off the cliched postcard, urbanization, transportation, wastewater treatment, retention basins, all the shadow urban planning that guarantees a sustainable and eco-responsible city. The Seine, therefore, is both a witness to our history and the locus of some of the greatest contemporary environmental and scientific challenges. It is therefore quite natural that the Water and Heritage Chair be perfectly in line with the laboratories, research units, and projects of Sorbonne University, among which Aubépine, the Aubépine Plus, the Epidemiological Observatory of Wastewater, Express, a network of researchers working on and with water, and sensors, les capteurs, sensors in particular, and with our partnership with Pierre and Seine or the SIAP, but also very much in line with our researchers in history, geography, history of art, sociology, literature, and of course with Opus, Sorbonne University Alliance Heritage Observatory, and with Sphinx, for the Sphinx project for the preservation of cultural heritage, to which the Paris Institute for Advanced Studies has given its full support. One of the very first objectives of Sphinx is precisely to help public decision makers as to the issues related to the reappropriation of heritage by the general public. The pedestrianization of the banks, the efforts for depolluting the river, Paris-Plage, and of course the Olympic Games and their opening ceremony are recent dynamics that foster new connections between Paris, the Parisians, and visitors, and the river in an approach which is quite innovative, that of event urban planning. The program of this conference is extraordinarily rich, and this interdisciplinary conference is going to be fascinating. I'm really happy to be here and to listen to your talks, and I'll give the floor now. Thank you.
Dear colleagues from all over the world, dear stakeholders of Rivers and Cities Future, my name is Gabrielle Bouleau. I'm a political scientist specialized in water policies. I welcome you on the behalf of the vivid water-related scientific community investigating the Seine River Basin, working within the Pyrénées-Seine program, an interdisciplinary program I am running today as a scientific director. What makes a scientific community vibrant? In Pyrénées-Seine, we believe it is both its international reputation and its local relevance. We are proud of the scientific results we produce on the Seine, and we are proud that my predecessors and present colleagues' names sound very familiar to many former master and PhD students who became water managers in the Seine basin. This is a specific heritage of Pyrénées-Seine. The Pyrénées-Seine is an interdisciplinary research program which has investigated the Seine River Basin for 35 years. thanks to the funding from public and private water-related organizations committed to the sustainable management of the Seine basin. Thanks to this funding, around 100 researchers have developed models of water flows, nutrient metabolism, and pollutant dynamics. They have combined historical knowledge and geomorphological sampling to assess societal impacts and test causal relations. They have documented the co-evolution of industrialization and risk management, conflicts and regulation, belief and crisis, in order to understand the past and the future functioning of this particular social hydro system. Irene, maybe we can show a map. Pierre and Seine researchers have passed on this knowledge to water managers. As we are together to address issues of heritage, I want to honor this impressive collective work we inherited from, and which I'm going to lead for the next few years. Pierre and Seine is part of several scientific networks. It has been part of CNRS Zone Atelier network since 2001. The Zone Atelier Seine coordinates several research programs addressing water and society in different parts of the basin. And the Pierre and Seine is also acknowledged as a water-oriented living lab in the Water Europe network. I'm very pleased that Carola has chosen to stay in the Seine basin to build a network that brings us today, because those involved in the Seine basin have been very inspired by foreign experiences, such as the London sewerage system, the bathing sites in Bâle, New York, Copenhagen, or Munich. And conversely, the considerable anthropogenic pressures on this basin also makes a particular relevant site for tackling future challenges of water and climate change. I'm very happy to see today an expanding network of scholars and stakeholders who take seriously the task of bridging together their knowledge in order to tackle important water challenges for present and future generations. We know that this cannot be taken for granted. May the Seine inspire you.
Good morning. I'm Jyoti Hosagrahar, Deputy Director of the World Heritage Center at UNESCO in Paris. Dear mayors, representatives of the city of Paris, dear representative of the Pierre and Seine, dear Vice President of the Sorbonne University, dear Carola, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to the important conference on reconnecting rivers and cities. It would be a very important beginning, first of all, to thank Carola, Hein, shareholder of the UNESCO chair on water, ports and historic cities, the Institut d'Études Avancées de Paris, and the Sorbonne University for the excellent organization of this today event. It is fitting that we gather today on the Quai d'Angel in the heart of historic Paris, as the Vice President very rightly pointed out, a city whose identity has been shaped by its river, La Seine. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Property in 1991, Paris, banks of the Seine, offers a powerful example of an incomparable city that has developed around the river, embracing it at the center as an essential aspect of its urban character, its form and its sustenance, as well as its social life, its environmental and visual benefits. This approach is at the heart of the UNESCO 2011 recommendation on the historic urban landscape, an important instrument ratified or agreed upon by all UNESCO member states, which advocates for strengthening the vital connections between the built environment, the natural surroundings, and local communities, with the aim of fostering cities where heritage is protected and all inhabitants can thrive. Water has always been essential to life, sustaining both biological and cultural diversity. Across time, it has played a foundational role in shaping civilizations, guiding settlements, and fostering the cultures that we celebrate today. A large number of properties inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List have hydraulic elements or include water riverscapes, reflecting intrinsic connections, linkages between water and culture over thousands of years. The Grand Canal in China, the world's longest and oldest canal, has supported China's economic prosperity for centuries and continues to play a key role in internal communication. And the Mount Qincheng and the Junganyan irrigation system on the Minjiang River, the world's only surviving dam-free irrigation system, remains in use after more than 2,250 years as an excellent nature-positive model. As we face the growing challenges of climate change, we are reminded that water, whether in excess or scarcity, poses significant threats to these valuable sites. From rising sea levels to changing rainfall patterns, we must recognize the urgent need to protect our shared heritage through climate adaptation, water management, and sustainable conservation. Throughout history, communities worldwide have developed ingenious hydraulic engineering and sustainable water management practices. UNESCO World Heritage Canopy Platform showcases these efforts, from water management system of Augsburg in Germany to ancient aqueducts, cisterns, and canals that reflect conservation, reuse, and rainwater harvesting principles. That was supported, the initiative supported by the Netherlands. The Beemster polder site in the Netherlands shows how landscapes have shaped to protect against flooding. The Mazhab Valley in Algeria developed temporary structures for flood-prone areas, emphasizing risk prevention, and the abandonment of such practices has increased vulnerability to flooding. As many cities around the world seek to reconnect with their own waterways, Paris provides some valuable lessons. Through public spaces that invite people back to the river and initiatives that seek a greener, more pedestrianized Place de la Concorde, the city continues to innovate while honoring its past. At the heart of the World Heritage Property of Paris, banks of the Seine, on the Île de la Cité, an island in the middle of the Seine, stands the Cathedral of Notre Dame. On the 15th of April in 2019, the world watched in horror as fire ravaged this masterpiece of Gothic architecture. Notre Dame's destruction was not just a tragedy for France. It was a loss felt globally, reminding us of the fragility of our shared cultural heritage. Its reopening in December 2024 was a moment of joy, not only for France, but for the entire international community. The Notre Dame is a shining example of what the World Heritage Convention represents: outstanding universal value in historical, architectural, spiritual, and cultural terms. Its restoration embodies the core of UNESCO's mission to protect and preserve our world's heritage, ensuring that future generations can connect with them and continue to benefit from their connections to the river and to the water, helping to counter the challenges posed by climate change and urban pressures. The Notre Dame is a testament to what we can achieve when we worked collectively to preserve the past while embracing the future. Thank you very much.